Welcome to the 5G podcast.
We're glad you're here.
We hope you enjoy our conversation about God, guns, games, goals, and gastronomy.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode. We're good.
Good.
Rolling.
Rolling?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, my mic is being retarded. Just like it's a wearer.
Yeah, you know.
Thanks, Trevor. Appreciate you.
Did I say that out loud? Unavoidable. What can you do? I think they have a school for that. You got to take the short bus to get there, though.
I've never been on a short bus. Like.
Yeah. Like I was gonna. Oh, that's an accomplishment. No,
I don't think I ever rode one of the short buses.
I don't think so.
I mean, there's not that many of them, right? Like
Right.
one per school.
They serve a special purpose.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very special purpose for those wonderful people.
Anyway.
Anywho.
Let's kick it off with this week. Welcome.
You, my good sir,
wanted
to talk about this wonderful theory that it's not your theory, unfortunately.
No,
it'd be cool if it was.
If I could
But
claim.
what are your lead us in? What is this theory of yours?
Yeah, we wanna talk about the dead internet theory.
Dead internet theory.
Because as with the prevalence of go away. Go. Daco. With the prevalence of AI increasing and bot presence online, I find the dead internet theory ever more fascinating. As maybe it's not a conspiracy ever, but maybe it's not a theory. Maybe it is actually gonna kind of turn into reality sooner than we think.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion, but the overarching idea of it, right, is like pretty soon it's just going to be like more bots than humans interacting on the internet, especially on like social medias. It's just like bot post, AI art, bots commenting, bots liking, and they're just having conversations with each other. All the bots responding back and forth. Whereas there's no real human interaction. And I think we already see it to some extent, so probably not that far off.
So the theory is that the internet, instead of being made up of human interactions with one another, it's going to be made up of computer interactions with itself or with other computers.
Other computers, yeah.
And that eventually it's just going to like turn into just a place where bots talk with each other.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
And then humans don't really find any value in it anymore, especially social media, like I said. And so then humans just leave. Like, it's just not worth your time.
Interesting.
I read we don't have to talk about this, but the one layer deep is that like, it's all planned, that someone's pushing an agenda or whatever. I'm like, I don't really believe that totally, but or at least
I don't think it'd be very hard to do that.
Yeah, or at least that it's all orchestrated. Yeah, I don't think so. But it is certainly happening. Whether or not some people are trying to do it intentionally or not, I think that's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah, I think that companies should obviously, like, they don't want bots on their platform, right?
Yeah.
So I think they should do as much as they can to
keep it real.
Yeah, but I don't know how far you go with that, you know?
Right. Yeah, because the idea that, again, I don't think it's orchestrated, but I think some companies would or are using bots or automated responses, automated posts to kind of drum up interest in a product or whatever that they're trying to sell. Like,
sure.
Whether it's AI art or just like you have the bots commenting like, on Amazon reviews, like, I love this product so much. Boop-a-doo. It's the best. And 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. I was like, yeah, that's pretty believable. People would do that.
Yeah. I don't know. I just with like YouTube comments and things like that. It's like I'm so sick of seeing like under a video of some guy restoring an old farm,
Uh-huh.
which I just put on for like background. It's an hour and a half long of him scraping dirt, right? And then underneath the video is like 3 comments from like girls selling their OnlyFans,
Yeah, right.
like bots selling these girls OnlyFans. It's like I don't, I don't think that should be allowed.
Right.
Like just personally, like I mean, if the platform allows it, then gotta suck it up, right? But if it were my platform, I'd say like no, like that's not. You
Mm-mm.
pay us for advertisement. Like
Yeah.
you don't get to do it for free underneath it, all these videos. Like
Yeah. Yeah, and it's kind of a tough line because it's like, yeah, obviously the internet is kind of for that, as you said, and like it is advertising, but it's almost, I don't know, the
yeah, but like there's I and maybe this is just a bias that I have, but like
internet should be real.
yeah, there's that. There's definitely that. But I also think like, what's the difference between a girl promoting her OnlyFans, even if it's a bot that's doing it, right?
Mhm.
It's still promoting that content. And like, what if like a porn star just like linked to Pornhub?
Oh, just like, yeah, on the YouTube.
Like it's almost the same thing.
Yeah, when it's like not age restricted, like, hey, there's kids here.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically the same thing.
It's like
yeah.
you're watching a Blue's Clues video and underneath it is a link for Pornhub.
Right.
Like, that shouldn't be allowed.
It's pretty insidious.
Yeah. Like it shouldn't be like that should not be allowed.
No.
And like if a video is super popular or it's a couple weeks old and they're not monitoring the comments as much on it anymore,
You get more bots.
you get a ton more bots. And then like, I mean, I watch videos all the time that are a year old
Mm-hmm.
or 4 months old, and like they're not policing the comments on a 4 month old video necessarily,
No.
especially if it has 1 million views, and 30,000 comments. There's no way you can read through all of those.
No.
But
yeah,
I don't know. I just feel like the platform just needs to like, and just in terms of like platform health as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you see a post that has just a bunch of bot comments, you're not going to comment.
No, you're like, oh, this is fake. This isn't
But
real.
if you see a video that has like some cool comments, and you're like, oh, this is kind of sick. Like you might respond to it. You might have a little
sense of community. I want to
Yeah.
engage. Yeah.
It's like I do that. Like that's what Reddit is.
Yeah. It's all just little mini communities. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's obviously does very well for itself. So
Mm-hmm.
I think if YouTube or Twitter or X, whatever,
Right.
Facebook, Instagram, they all have this same problem
Mhm.
of this botting and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think it's getting to the point where it'll literally just be even like I said, AI made content, and then it's just bots, and then the humans, as you said, are just going to be like, why would I engage with this? Like,
yeah, I think YouTube's not going to have as big of a problem with that
that's true.
in terms of AI creating videos,
Mm-hmm.
because you kind of select who you watch on YouTube pretty well. Whereas like on Instagram or on like TikTok, for example,
Yeah.
it's like a random smattering of bullcrap, right? And so I think you're gonna get pictures of AI
whatever
making
AI
random crap, and
just smushes adjectives and nouns together and makes things.
Yeah.
Wow, I really love this.
Yeah.
All the bot comments.
Look what I did today, and it's like a picture of the moon. It's like,
huh? Okay.
You did the moon?
That doesn't.
That's
you painted the moon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I don't know. There's something about like an uncanny valley with AI art still.
Oh, totally.
Where it's like something's not quite right with it, and like you can kind of tell.
Mm-hmm.
And like there's some that tricks you for sure.
Definitely.
Right? But like if it's not really well done, it's like you can kind of like guess.
Yeah. Full AI art. It's getting better, but you're right. There's still just like a little bit of like, I can tell.
The videos are really where it's like, okay, this is weird.
Yeah, the videos look like acid trips right now. They're
You seen the one where the guy is eating the hot dog?
No, I don't think I've seen the hot dog one.
He like sprouts like 17 fingers and then like eats this hot dog, but then it's his fingers.
Then it's his
instead.
fingers.
Like, what
Yeah.
the heck?
Yeah, dude, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do that.
No. So anyway, it's an interesting theory though.
I think it's an interesting theory. I'm kind of the sci-fi nerd in me is like, what if in like 10, 20 years there's like a not a resurgence, I guess, but like a large amount of people just like leaving the internet. What if we like we thought the internet was this great advancement, but then just like the bots take over, and then the humans just decide like, you know what, maybe we don't need this, or at least social media.
Yeah, I think that there's already a significant number of people doing that.
Yeah,
right.
Like, because we still need the internet for business and stuff, but
I mean, I think that there's a reasonable thought process where it's like, hey, if you like, first of all, these companies, I don't think that the companies will let it happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Go away, dog.
Go lay down.
Because they have, like, they want their viewership to maintain or increase, right?
Sure.
And the reason that they want that is because they sell ads to people who want to advertise on their platform.
And they want to advertise to real people who are going to buy things.
And so if a company sees, hey, my ad got 7 million views and that turned into one purchase,
one sale, yeah,
my ROI is negative a lot. Right?
Yes.
Whereas, and so they'll say, this is not worth it. I'm going to stop advertising on this platform.
Yeah.
If one person does that, it's not a big deal. But if all of the people start doing that, all of the people who are advertising on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or whatever start saying like, oh, this is definitely not worth it.
Yeah.
They'll stop doing that. And then those companies will either just stop existing.
Sure.
And then the apps go away and then the bots die.
Yeah. Or they start bleeding money and realize they have to do something about the bots too.
And the apps die. Or the bots die.
The bots die, yeah.
So it's like, I think either way, you're going to be unbotting the internet.
Maybe that's why the second layer of the conspiracy is like, somebody's got to be pushing it. There's got to be some other ulterior motive to keep the theory alive.
Well, so there is that, because there's a huge number of troll farms, outrage farms in Russia and like Macedonia or something like that, where they are paid by the governments of those countries to just foment discontent or fear in other countries.
Interesting.
Right? It's a psyop.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And so I don't remember the exact statistic.
And there's civilians? I mean, I guess they're government employees.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah. Independent contractors.
Yeah. But they just run thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of accounts. But there was something where it was like the top 7 out of the top 10 Christian sites on or Christian pages on Facebook were like bots.
Wow.
Or like troll farms.
Yeah.
And not actual people like managing this community.
Yeah, weird.
Which is crazy.
What countries did you say? It was like Eastern Europe, like
Russia. I think Turkey does it. I read an article like a year and a half ago.
That's very interesting. I haven't heard that.
And I can't cite my sources because it was a year and a half ago.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's out of the depths of my brain.
But
it was something like Macedonia, Russia, Turkey. Yeah, like mostly Eastern European countries.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was in China. I'm sure China's trying to do something.
Probably, but
I don't. Anyway, it's a fascinating theory for sure.
Intriguing.
We'll see if it goes anywhere.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that there's eventually going to be like AI content creators, meaning like personalities. Kind of like the Vocaloids.
Yeah, or VTubers.
Yeah, so VTubers are already like a big thing.
Yeah.
Which, sure.
Power to them, sure.
I'm not the target audience.
Yeah.
Leave it at that. I'm also not the target audience for Vocaloids.
Nope. But you do know the name now.
True.
You got it spot on, yeah.
Hakune Mitsu or whatever her name is.
Close enough. You just mix up a couple of the syllables. Hatsune Miku.
Oh, dang it. I was really close.
Very close, very close.
Really close. That was pulling right up from the dredges of the... That was like, you know, on your computer when you have to, like, you delete something, you're like, I gotta go back and find that in the recycle.
It's down there somewhere.
Digging in there, it's like, how long ago did I delete that?
I did not permanently delete this. Yep. Okay.
That's what that was right there.
Uh-huh.
There's a little bit of corruption on the file, but
Hatsune Miku.
Yeah, the VTubers are a phenomenon that and like I like, to be fair, like if they want to maintain anonymity,
yeah,
more power to them, and they're real people, you know. So it's like,
yes, yeah,
like it's just I'm fine. I don't care that they exist, right?
But then you're saying one step closer is just, or one step further is actual just AI.
Yeah,
where it's literally just a programmer or a team of programmers.
Well, I think eventually it's just going to be. I mean, to start the thing, you have to have a bunch of programmers, right?
Yeah, and then after that,
you could definitely have, like, for example, a Twitch streamer that's just an AI.
Just let it live.
Run, and it runs 24/7.
Yeah. Ooh, live streaming 24/7.
Live streams, and like what, like it could do anything. It could be a reaction streamer. It reacts to videos, and like, if it's good enough, like people would watch.
Yeah, it would develop personalities and stuff.
And they could do it like a VTuber type thing, where it's a caricature of whatever. So it doesn't have to be like super anatomically correct or accurate. So it's like, if there's like a little mistake, it's like, well, whatever.
It's not bad, actually. That's a pretty good idea. We're probably not far off from that.
Yeah, and like if humans are interacting with it, then like it's okay for the company, for Twitch, in this instance, to allow it.
I think Twitch is a good example of that. Yeah,
they're gonna make money off of this AI doing it, and then the people that are running the AI or built the AI, have nothing to do with their life, and so they're just gonna sit back and just watch the money rake in if it becomes popular, obviously.
Yeah.
But if you're streaming for 24/7 without needing to take a break or anything like that, that's a lot of ads. That's a lot of.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Like. And if it's cool,
if the AI works well enough, or as you said, like React content is probably the best way, then there's infinite amounts of content to react to, and you could just make itself.
I wonder if you could have an AI play a video game.
Yeah. Like actually.
Like, not like a bot that's cheating, right?
Yeah.
Not like cheats or anything like that, but like, and like, how good would they be if like, because if you think about it,
probably not competitive.
I think the opposite.
Really? Yeah.
I think the complete opposite. Because if you give a bot a video, or an AI a video game, they learn off generative stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have like off days.
No.
And so you're going to get an op. I'm just thinking of like it playing Counter-Strike, for example. You're going to get an AI that's going to go in, and maybe the first couple times it's going to die, right? Or like not do very well.
Sure.
It's learning the game just like human would be. But it gets better every time, no matter what.
Probably breaks terms of service, I think, would be the only one. That would maybe
Counter-Strike, for sure. But if you, I mean, it's not cheating.
It's not cheating, but in competitive games, I think it breaks terms of service.
For sure. I'm sure it does.
Right now. Laws could change, though.
But do people want to watch AIs fight AIs?
Yeah.
You know? Like, at that point, it's like, which team can build the better AI to win at Counter-Strike?
Yeah, because then you're just... Yeah, I guess.
And then it's almost cheating, but it's not.
What's the difference between an AI and just like NPCs that we already have in video games? Well, the AI is smarter and it learns. If it's truly artificial intelligence, it's like a real person, not an NPC that you programmed.
But like, can you imagine, like, in a game where you're looking for slight movement or a gun barrel peeking around a corner or anything like that? A human brain can miss that easily.
True.
But an AI is scanning the entire thing over and like a gazillion times a second or whatever.
Picks it up instantly, responds to it instantly.
Is able to crosshair on that spot instantly. They don't have to move the mouse with their hand, and oh no, I overswung or I underswung, or they're always and the spray pattern, I have to memorize this spray pattern, but is it like that bullet or that bullet that goes there next?
Yep.
It's like, oh no, the AI just knows it's boom, 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 and they can just move the cursor.
No input lag.
Yeah. So it's like it's hacks, right? Like,
yeah. It is actually, but if it was AI, artificial intelligence doing it, it's not cheating.
Yeah.
In the traditional sense.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Would people want to watch that for like a competitive, right? Like tournaments and stuff, or streamers?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Because then it's like, where's the skill?
Well, that's the point. It's like, do you want to watch 6 computers duke it out?
Yeah, it's different in like like Olympics, like the physical contest. Like, yeah, you want to watch people at the peak physical form. I want to watch this contest and see just the absolute best that humanity can be. With like AI in video games, you're like, this is the absolute best you can be at a video game, and it looks like cheating.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not entertaining.
And I mean, like, there are players of Counter-Strike, Valorant, whatever else, who it's like you watch them and you're like, whoa, you're definitely cheating, right? Like,
but it's a real person.
But they're not cheating too, because it's like in a controlled LAN environment where it's like they literally cannot be cheating.
And he repeats it, so it's good. Like,
it's like they like
random.
Hit these headshots through a smoke, and it's like, what? Like, was that luck? Nope, they're just that good. They know where the play, and their map sense is so good. And this is another branch of that conversation, I guess. I think the reason, like when you said, for example, the Olympics are like the peak of human competition, physical competition, right? Would we want a bot to do that? It's like, well, no, because you can just build a bot to win a video game. It's like the same thing with like the Olympics. It's like, yeah, but you're just watching a robot run. But then it's like, oh, but people do watch that type of thing. It's like battle bots is like a thing.
Oh, that's true.
And then there's like the little mouse races. Have you seen those?
I don't think so. No.
So there's a maze on the ground. And it's a simple maze. If you're a human, you could solve it very easily.
Yeah.
Right. Especially looking from the top down. But while you're in it, it's not super obvious where you're going. So they build these little, I think they're called mice.
Mice, like robots?
Yep, they're little, like 4-wheeled, sometimes 5-wheeled little vehicles, sometimes 3-wheeled, just little vehicles.
Okay.
Little tiny, tiny things. But they run a program that tries to get them to go to a certain spot.
Okay.
And they're races. And so you're trying to do it as quick as possible. And it's actually, I don't think I'd ever participate in it because I wouldn't want to spend like 10 hours at a place like just having my mouse go, Yeah.
But
like to watch like a 10-minute video on it is like pretty interesting. And like to watch like the technology behind it and like the programming that goes into it is like pretty cool. And so like we build robots for competitions. It's robots v robots, but it's not robot v robot. If you think about it,
it is.
It's a human building a robot versus a human building a robot, right? And so I don't ever think that there's going to be an AI robot racing league,
right? Just
or
like
an AI robot basketball game,
standalone, no humans involved. Yeah.
I think like if you could go watch, like, I don't know. I'm like, if you were gonna go watch like a football game, the reason you watch a football game is because there are human beings on the field who are gonna make some crazy physical plays.
Yeah.
Right. Either they're gonna hit someone real hard, they're gonna block real hard, they're gonna run real fast, they're gonna jump real high, whatever it is, right? And they're doing it cooperatively to a certain goal, right? Well, it's like, okay, if you just programmed a bunch of Elon Musk Atlas robot to do that.
Exoskeleton robot things.
Yeah, it might be fun to like watch once or twice, but you're not gonna like root for that team necessarily.
No, as if they just play the perfect game every time.
It's like, and both teams are trying to play the perfect game, and it's like, okay, but like you're just these AIs just like, why don't you just go sit down and play chess?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like the same thing.
It's the same thing
because
really.
it's just computers playing computers in a football game.
Yeah,
it's like watching Madden v Madden instead of Madden v the player.
Sure,
right?
Sure, you're just bots at that point.
Yeah, there's no I think so. Summarization. I think the human element in competition is the most important aspect of competition.
Yeah, AI can never replace
I don't
that.
think computers nor robots will ever replace the human aspect of competition.
Sure.
Which is another reason why I don't think that robots are ever going to replace humans in war.
Oh yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Really?
No. Because one of the reasons, so like,
not even just like on the front lines, like infantrymen. Just
I think they'll augment.
Oh, sure.
I think they'll.
Eventually.
I'm not saying there's not going to be any robots on the front line.
No robotics.
Right? No, I think that we're moving towards that, but I think they're going to be an augmentation to a human.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because
robot assisted, running supply lines.
Well, I mean, they're doing this wingman program. I don't know if you've heard of this.
I don't think so.
So the Air Force has this NGAD, the Next Generation Air Dominance Fighter, which is the 6th generation fighter. So right now, the U.S. has 5th generation fighters in the F-22 and F-35.
Yeah.
China has one, the J-20 Dragon, which maybe. Russia has one, the Felon, the Su-57, which we've spoken about previously. They're barely 5th generation fighters.
Yeah.
The U.S. has had this technology for 30 years. The Russian, and we have a gazillion of these fighters. Yeah. The Russians, I believe, have 18 of theirs.
Woo.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't think China has that many either. But their performance capabilities are not anywhere close to what the U.S. has.
Sure, yeah.
Or has had for 30 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. has this Next Generation Air Dominance Fighter program, which is the 6th generation fighters, super stealthy, super quick, all the things, right?
Yeah, best at everything.
Yep. And with that, and they're building it out for the 5th generation stuff and even 4th generation fighters.
Oh.
They're building these systems they're called the Wingman system. And so it's these smaller framed fighter jet looking things without a cockpit that are AI driven. They fly by AI, and they can perform in dogfights, and they can bomb targets, and they can shoot rockets and missiles and all the things, right? They're a fighter jet.
Yeah.
Without a person inside.
Just a little bit smaller.
And they all communicate with one another, and you just basically have, instead of having a squadron of 4 fighters with 4 humans, you now have a squadron of 4 fighters with 1 human.
Yeah, I gotcha. And they can all just follow him.
And so now you've quadrupled your fighter capacity because because it's a hard job, and pilots are super trained in dogfighting and things like that.
Yeah.
Where they have they have these necessary functions that they have to perform that maybe a computer might not be able to do perfectly every time, right?
Yeah.
Because they can't analyze every aspect of every situation perfectly all at once necessarily, right? Maybe they will be eventually.
Yeah, maybe eventually,
right? But anyway, so this Wingman program is really cool.
So you just have one guy doing a thing, and then the AI can just follow him.
And
he can issue commands.
And there's another way, because they can all communicate via satellite, right? Instead of having to be close to one another. One thing that they can do that's really cool is with the 4th generation fighters, this is what they're doing. So all these Wingman fighters are all stealth coded and stealthy and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
What they do is they act as a target designator, basically.
Yeah.
So they'll fly into an enemy territory, and their payload capacity might not be as much because they have to have internal weapons bays because they're stealthy, right? All stealth fighters have to have internal weapons bays.
Yeah.
You can't have F-16s where you have rockets on the outside because those rockets or those missiles are not stealthy.
Yeah.
Right. So what they'll do is they'll fly these Wingman fighters into enemy territory, super stealthy, invisible, all that stuff. That AI will be able to designate targets. Oh, here's a tank. Oh, here's an airfield. Oh, here's a whatever.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have what they call the bomb truck, which is usually just an F-15 or an F-18, which just has a crazy payload capacity. And
but it's not stealthy.
But it's not stealthy.
No.
No, it looks like a semi-truck.
And
Oh, but it has it has way more carrying capacity, bombs wise, than an F-35 or an F-22.
So they can fly in fast, don't have to look for targets because they're already found.
And then they don't have to get as close to targets either to designate the targets.
Yeah, they can just fire.
They can launch from beyond the horizon.
Nice. Okay.
And so this fighter will be 100 miles ahead of them. They'll say, okay, firing now or whatever, and then they'll fire their missiles or whatever, and then they'll peel away. That fighter will peel away, and those bombs will hit the target, and the enemy won't have ever seen it coming.
Safe, yeah.
They'll think, oh, that F-18 or F-15 is 300 miles that way.
So far away.
Like once it gets close enough, we're going to be able to see it and shoot it down.
We'll shoot it down, yeah.
And it's like, nope, we had a fighter right above you, circling, and now you're dead.
That's impressive, then. Yeah,
it's a cool technology.
That is cool.
Very cool technology.
And as you said, it's like you're quadrupling or at least doubling, your capacity. Like less humans, more technology.
Yeah. So it's very cool in my opinion.
Impressive.
Anyway, that was a way big tangent for our dead internet theory.
Yeah, AI.
Yeah.
All the bots on YouTube, man, they're going to be piloting planes. Interesting stuff though. Excited to see the future.
It's either going to be really cool or really dystopian.
Yeah, right. You either get the cool, the I don't know. Well, yeah, utopia or dystopian. You get cyberpunk,
or better cyberpunk,
or a rich person in cyberpunk. I don't. There's not many good sci-fi futures depicted in media, I don't think.
Yeah.
Most of them end up dystopian.
Are there any that end up like amazing?
Some of them have, fun concepts, but again, probably only if you're like rich.
Yeah. Anyway. What else do we got on our list here? Now that I've babbled on for 10 years.
Man, marketplaces.
Yeah.
This is some more Steven babbling. No. I think this is shared.
I was going to pose it as a question to you.
Yeah.
Less, right. I've had it. So I had this thought before our next topic was released, right? I had this on last week's agenda. I did. Anyway.
How did you know?
Premonition. I've had a thought recently, and I don't know how to feel about it because I am an enjoyer in the finance aspect of video games.
Yeah.
And card games, right? I find trading collectibles to be fascinating, right? But I think that I have sided on the side of they are detrimental to the community as a whole. But let me paint this picture.
Yeah. Paint.
In video games, such as Counter-Strike, in card games, such as Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, One Piece.
Oh, right.
There are cards that are rare. There are gun skins that are rare, right? Those cards have an increased shelf price.
Yeah.
If you're going to buy it as a single, right? Now that's really the only way to buy it, unless you're going to just crack packs, right?
Yeah, secondary market.
Yep. You're going to secondary market, just buy the single card that you need. Rare cards have an increased price, which is fair because they're a rare card.
Yep.
That makes sense. Like
there's less of
the supply demand curve makes sense. In Counter-Strike, especially, that same thing applies, right? There are skins that are special skins. They have less of a chance of being opened from a chest. It's the exact same thing as cards, right?
Yep.
I think that speculators and investors are problematic for the collectibles market.
Okay.
Because you're taking an item that is supposed to be used in a card game.
Yeah, or in a video game.
And it's supposed to be available to most people. And you're taking it, and because you are an investor, a long-term holder of these items, you are disallowing people from gaining access to that product.
Sure.
If you buy, and let me give an example. If you're someone who buys a Black Lotus and puts it in a commander deck, you're not the person I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's an expensive card.
Very.
Yes. But you're playing with it. And so you're using it for its intended purpose.
Yeah.
You're not preventing someone from using it from its intended purpose, right? You are using it for its intended purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If you're someone who owns 30,000 copies of Black Lotus, which doesn't exist, obviously, that was obviously hyperbole. But if you own 100 copies of Black Lotus and none of your commander decks or none of your other decks have a Black Lotus in it, you are, in my opinion, at least from what I have been thinking, problematic for the collectibles community.
Gotcha. Okay. You're
tee off there. What are your thoughts?
Raising the barrier or eliminating? No.
Creating a larger barrier to entry than is necessary.
Sure.
So, for example, if everyone who, and let's just use Black Lotus since it's such a famous card.
Yeah.
If every Black Lotus was in a commander deck,
mm-hmm.
do you think the price would go up or down? If there was a rule written in the heavens,
yes.
Obviously this would be impossible to do.
Sure. Theoretical
rule in the heavens that every single card that you bought had to be used in a commander deck or have the intent of being used in a deck, right? Yeah. Like obviously if you buy a booster box, a draft box or whatever, what do they call them now? Play box.
Yeah, play booster box.
Anyway, you're not going to put all 360 cards in a deck, right?
Yeah, but you're playing with them.
Yes, exactly. Whereas like people will buy a Black Lotus in a graded PSA case and then set it in a safe vault or on a shelf and just never touch it again.
As an investment.
So a card that's meant to be played with is the only way that you're allowed to buy cards, right? Do you think the price would go up or down on Black Lotuses?
Prices would go down, in theory.
Prices would go drastically down.
There would, and it would bring back the element of like, again, it's kind of funny because it's an extreme example. Like, oh no way, dude, you got a Black Lotus? Oh, can I trade you for one? And oh yeah, I got extras Black Lotuses, man. Here you go. Like, that's a trading card game. You see them played, you want to use them, because they're strong. You're like, oh, thanks, man. Yeah, this make my deck a lot better. Like, yeah, that's almost what the market should be. I'm not saying it's like it's a children's game, but it is kind of designed to be like a barter economy, like for children. Like,
I don't know if you remember your dad. I don't know if your dad was into this, but baseball cards used to be like the thing.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And it used to be you would go open a pack of Topps cards and you'd pull a whoever and you'd be like, dude, this is sick. And your buddy would say like, I'll trade you 4 cards that are like medium value for your one good one.
For the one good one.
And you'd be like, ooh, I like this good one. But like 4 medium ones that are like pretty cool, like that's pretty nice to have. Like,
totally.
That'd be cool. Or like same with like basketball cards, right? It's like, oh yeah, I opened a LeBron James, but I could have a Kevin Durant, a Steph Curry, a Shaquille O'Neal, and a whoever else, you know, for my one LeBron James card. And then, you know, I can go buy another pack and have a chance at opening another LeBron.
Have a chance,
you know? And like, that's the point of the game. Like, that's the point of the trading card aspect of the game.
Yeah, because those don't have a game attached. That one is
purely trading cards.
Yeah, just the ascribed value that people put on them.
Yeah. And so I think, what are your thoughts on my premise?
I think, honestly, I think I probably do agree with it. I think, especially because of our next topic, like,
foreshadowing.
People should not use a children's card game as an investment. Like, it is kind of meant to be played. And obviously, that's kind of childish of me to think that, like, oh, people can't make money off this game. I'm not saying that. Like, sure, this is a hobby. Hobbies, can make you money. Some people can do that, but it should not be an investment. I think the the way it's intended. The creator, Magic, Richard Garfield, intended it to be a game to be played with your friends, create a sense of community. It was not intended as like, we're just going to make a lot of money and we're going to make a lot of investors very happy with all the Black Lotuses.
Yeah.
So I think I initially agree. It does only cause an issue when like Wizards of the Coast, the company, has decided, here's our reserved list of cards that we're never going to reprint. So investors, pay attention to this list. These cards are only ever going to go up in value. But then Wizards of the Coast can also just print their $1,000 proxies from last year, the Magic 30th edition of reserved list cards. So like, it's all
Those aren't legal to play with.
They aren't legal to play with, but nobody's playing with their original reserved list cards either.
True.
And so it's all just paper. It's all just paper with an ascribed value that Wizards of the Coast can just print proxies, or I can print proxies on my printer, and it's the same thing to play the game with.
Yep.
And so, I think I probably do agree that it's not super healthy for the game.
I saw a video, and then I'll do this. I'll read something to you that I read that kind of prompted this as well.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a video of a guy who is his entire job that he's created, his entire thing that he does is he goes to stores and purchases new Lego products.
Okay.
And then 2 years later, he resells them on eBay. That's all he does with his life.
Interesting.
And he makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in profit.
Jeez.
Free markets are okay.
Yeah.
Free markets are good. Free markets are the best. But the problem is that when you have, for example, in the stock market, if you are a retail investor, just a random person, Joe Schmo on the road, and you have no swaying power in the market.
Yeah.
You buying a stock of one company that you like has to be a long-term hold.
Yeah.
Because the smart people on Wall Street and the traders on Wall Street have looked at that company and said, we are ascribing this company a value of X amount 30 years from now.
Yeah.
If we want to get X return or a Y return on our investment, and we invest now, what dollar amount do we invest in now so that in 30 years we get Y return?
Yeah.
And so they come up with that number, whatever that dollar amount is, and they say, we are going to buy shares
at this amount
until it hits that dollar amount, and then we're holding.
Yep.
And every single person on Wall Street is doing this.
Yeah.
And they might come up with slightly different numbers, slightly off by less than $1. But they're going to come up with that number. And so you going and saying, I'm going to short sell Coca-Cola because I don't think that Coca-Cola is going to have a good third quarter. It's like, you might hit that once or twice.
Sure.
But you're going to lose so much money over the long term.
In 30 years, yeah.
So
they've already done the math.
The market has already priced the asset correctly, right? As an aggregate, right? Maybe one person did it less correctly than another. But as an aggregate, the price of a thing, of a stock, of an investment is priced according to its foreseen potential value.
Future value.
It's future value, right? It's adjusted for future value based off of return desired.
Yeah,
right?
Which is boggles the mind. But
so if you take that theory, right, where you have a pricing structure of a current asset that is based on its future value, and then you have people starting to do that with physical assets.
Yeah.
I should restate physical items
sure.
that they're classifying as assets.
Yeah.
You're going to have these companies say, we just saw a set from 3 years ago sell for 70 times its retail price.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? If we increase our price by 30%, it's still going to sell for that much. And so we can make more money and people are still going to buy it for that price. And so like until that curve flattens out, or relatively flattens out to where it's not worth it for these resellers to sell it anymore,
they're going to
you're going to jack up the prices.
Keep raising the prices. Yep.
We've seen this with Lego.
Yeah.
Lego hasn't changed. The physical aspect of Legos hasn't changed in 70 years, whenever they founded, right?
It's still for kids, but it's not really for kids anymore because of the prices.
And I'm not saying that Lego is doing something wrong by making sets that are more expensive for adults, right?
No.
I think that that's very cool.
Again, that's a hobby.
Yeah, I think that's fine. But I think there's a problem when people are saying, I'm going to buy this Lego set now for $50 and sell it in 2 years or at the end of the year for $150.
Yeah.
Because the company, you're going to say, if you are the person buying the Legos, you're going to say, oh, well, I know I'm going to be able to sell this for $150. So if I buy it, I can buy as many as I want now for $50, $75, $100 and make way money on the back end, right? We see this with Wizards of the Coast product as well. When you started playing Commander, how much was a Commander deck?
Oh, geez.
A pre-con.
20, $30.
And then the premium ones were $50.
Yeah.
And now the base level ones are $50.
Yeah, really.
And we saw some of the Fallout ones, the Lord of the Rings ones.
The Commander Masters, $180.
For a pre-con.
200, I think I saw in one store. Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Insane.
Which is crazy.
But people were buying them.
And I'll bet you one of the reasons why is because the supply is limited. More limited because people are buying them as investments.
Yeah.
Let me read, to close out this, unless you have anything else, I'll just read this post on Reddit that I found sums it up pretty well.
Yeah, I'll just say that, like, and it can literally change, like, in the blink of an eye, like with video game skins. Like, what if Counter-Strike just releases a new skin that all of a sudden people ascribe value to that one instead? Like, I don't know. There's no guarantee with these assets.
So this person said, PSA, Magic is not an investment vehicle. Just a reminder that Magic is not an investment vehicle like stocks, index funds, ETFs, and crypto. I don't know why this needs to be stated, but it does. Too many people see it as a financial investment, and it's weird. It's a hobby, just like woodworking is a hobby. You might invest in some tools for these hobbies, but a sane person's primary purpose is the enjoyment of said hobby, not turning a profit. Does anyone else feel this way? It just seems so weird to me to see people touting Magic as some sort of investment and not a hobby that they enjoy. And I thought that was very well said.
There's a lot of investors in this hobby in particular, in Magic the Gathering.
Yep. So I feel like that summed it up pretty all right.
Yeah. There is some element, I guess you wanted that as your closing statement. There's some element of like, investors keep your game alive because they spend a lot of money. Sure, but I don't know. If your hobby doesn't bring a lot of people, then you don't need the whales investors to keep your game alive. The game being good should be enough.
Yeah.
Or the hobby being good should be enough.
I mean, any card game that starts out, well, not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore. I think that's one of the reasons that Lorcana sold out.
Oh, yeah.
I think people were speculating on it.
Right, yeah, that's true. They were like, "Oh, this is the first edition of a new card game." Like,
I think people saw what happened with the Magic Reserve List.
If you could go back in time to Magic 31 years ago when it came out, I would buy every single Alpha booster box ever.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and you'd be a billionaire.
Yep.
Like,
they were selling Black Lotuses for like $40 back then. I'd buy every single Black Lotus.
Every single one.
Yeah.
Every single alpha pack, every single anything.
Anything, yeah.
And you'd go do the same with Pokemon, and you'd go do the same with Yu-Gi-Oh, and you'd go do the same with any card game that came about.
Yep. So yeah, probably Lorcana, they were like, "Oh yeah, this is going to be big."
The number of people playing Lorcana, I don't think it breaks 1,000 people.
Yeah, it's not going to exist in 30 years.
I think the vast majority of things that were sold were to speculators.
Yeah.
And you see that with this One Piece card trading
One
games
Piece
that
card
came
game,
out.
yeah.
Like,
I think they're trying to stay afloat, but
they're trying, and they probably have enough capital behind them
Sure.
because of how successful that IP is.
Yeah.
But I mean, you see these cards being. I've seen some One Piece card packs being opened for people searching for the chase cards.
oh
right?
sure, yeah.
And it's like some of these chase cards are like hundreds of dollars already. And it's like a brand new card game.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a couple of years old, if that.
The only reason that that's a thing is because people are speculating.
Yeah. Ascribe value.
And it's like, if you just have so I think it's causing the new card games to die.
Yeah. People can't break into the market of the big three, the Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. Like,
well, there's that, but also if you have a run of product and people are buying cases and cases and cases of it just to hoard.
Yeah.
It's like,
because of what they've...
if 50% of the purchases on your site are speculators.
Yeah.
That means 50% of people
are not playing the game.
Yeah. That have bought the cards.
That's actually a really good theory. Because of what we've seen with Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, it spawned speculators. Back when when the big three came out,
Speculators didn't exist.
Speculators didn't exist.
They couldn't exist.
People were buying cards and playing the game. Like, nobody expected it to make money.
Yeah. So if you buy the cards to play the game,
and then the game thrived, and there's players keeping it alive.
But if people are just speculating,
if all you have is speculators, then it's
and
not
you're not
worth
playing
anything.
the game.
Yeah.
The only reason that speculation works is because people play the game.
Yep.
And you have more people playing the game than people speculating. If you have, by a significant amount, right?
Yeah.
If you have more people speculating on values of cards, yes, values of cards are going to go up.
Definitely.
But health of the game, not going to go up.
Doesn't last, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Tying into our next topic, because the reserve list kind of throws a wrench in things for that with Magic the Gathering specifically. We had a number of commander bans in Magic the Gathering. So just for the commander format, which is also interesting because it's not technically Wizards of the Coast that runs commander, but it basically is.
100% agree.
Yeah, they have the rules committee, commander rules committee, I think they're called, which has a number of Wizards of the Coast employees on it. So, like, they're communicating.
100%.
There might be like one or two people on the rules committee who aren't that aren't employees. So, like, yeah, anyway. Because technically Wizards of the Coast didn't make commander, but they have co-opted it.
It's an official format now.
Yeah, it is.
If you start, Caleb and I had this conversation, if you start making product for a format, it's an official format.
Yep.
If you can play it on your official game app, it's an official format. It doesn't matter what you say.
Yep. And since COVID, Commander is by and large the most famous Magic the Gathering format. So the rules committee banned several cards this week in Commander, which again is just a suggestion because Commander is a casual format. It's not Wizards of the Coast sponsored tournaments, whatever. So technically the whole format's a suggestion. You can do whatever you want, but everyone follows the ban list because if you're just playing Commander with randoms or, I don't know, you're trying to play the way the game is meant to be played, you follow the rules. So the number of bans they did offended some people. They were like, oh, we're going to ban fast mana, but only some fast mana. So it was Dockside Extortionist, Mana Crypt got hit, Jeweled Lotus was the big one, and then Nadu I don't think anybody was sad about because he's already got banned in every other format. So, and he was a mistake to ever be printed.
Yeah.
Not about him, but the first three are fast mana. Nadu was just bad. He lasted, I think, 1 month in Modern before they banned him there. So
did he even last a month?
I think so. He had one competitive event, one professional tournament. But yeah, the Dockside Extortionist, the Mana Crypt, and the Jeweled Lotus. The Jeweled Lotus is especially bad because that was a commander-only card that got banned, and so now it's literally unplayable.
I did think of a way you could play it without.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, because you have to sack it, right?
Yeah.
You tap it and then sack it, and then
you get 3 mana.
Yeah. But you can only use it to play your commander.
Only to
right?
cast a commander.
It's like in formats where you're looking, or like you're looking for a cheap sacrifice an artifact synergy.
Yeah.
Right. It's 0 mana. You can play it, tap it, sack it.
It's a Cheerios, I think is what they call that deck. Yeah, 0 cost artifacts because it's a circle.
Yep. And so you could put 4 of them in a mod or in a standard deck.
Okay.
Tap them all.
Not standard. It would have to be legacy. Because commander sets, because that card was from Commander Legends, commander sets are only legal in Commander, Legacy, and Vintage.
Oh, interesting.
Because Legacy is every card is allowed.
Sure. So Legacy.
A Legacy deck where you care about sacrificing artifacts and then maybe getting them back from the graveyard and sacking them again.
Yeah, you just put 4 of them in there. Yeah, it fizzles because you can't cast a commander. But you get to sack it and do whatever for free.
It's a good point. I was going to bring up as maybe one of my Magic cards of the week as a joke is a Lotus Petal. Is a 0 cost. You tap and sacrifice, but you only get 1 mana, but you can use it for anything. But that one is restricted in Legacy, so you can only have 1 of them in your deck. I think it's banned in Legacy. It's restricted in Vintage because it's that good. But Jeweled Lotus is pretty good. It doesn't give you any mana in that format, but if you still want to sacrifice things.
Yeah. I don't know. That was the only thing where I was like, I guess you could still technically play it in other formats.
Yeah.
If you're just looking for that. And there's no mana burn penalty.
Yeah. Jeweled Lotus basically unplayable in because now it's only in Legacy and Vintage.
Yeah.
Mana Crypt technically sees some play in Legacy. Dockside Extortionist, nah, it's not really for Legacy at all. So
it's definitely a commander.
Yeah, and so all 3 of those cards are like dead. Like they lost so much value overnight because of the bans that Wizards of the Coast doesn't own but basically owns. They lost value in the secondary market, and so players are unhappy. Wizards of the Coast isn't really that unhappy because they already sold, they already made all their money selling products like the Commander Legends, all the Commander decks that those cards came in. They don't make money from the secondary market. Supposedly they don't look at prices when they look at bans.
100% they do.
Yeah. People lost money overnight, but it's all ascribed value.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, people can't play with those cards, and so there's no value. So speculators lost.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people lost thousands of dollars. There's a Reddit, MTG Finance.
Yeah, I know them.
Everyone
was sure they're
up in arms about it. They were pissed. Which, I mean, I understand it, right?
Sucks, yeah. But
when I heard about the bans from you,
I
went and read what Wizard, or not WotC, but
the
WotC.
rules committee. Yeah,
it's WotC.
They even had an official page on Wizards of the Coast. Like,
I went and read the whole spiel about what they were saying, and I just thought it was so. Let me just say, Nadu. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
whatever.
He was just like an extra, like, oh yeah.
And by the way, this card that we've, it has been banned in every other format and should never have been printed. Is banned in this one as well.
Yep. He's also, again, technically only legal in Legacy and Vintage now.
But the other ones, I just thought like their reasoning was so not hypocritical. It's not unbased.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Right? There feels like if you don't want fast mana in the game, if you don't, right?
Yeah.
Why is Black Lotus not banned?
Yeah, you need to ban every source of fast mana then.
Like that's a legitimate like in my mind that is a legitimate comparison. Where if you have cards from the beginning of the game, from its inception, that are fast mana, like what is the problem?
Yep. Yeah, they should have done.
It's like, oh, we don't want people to tap for 5 mana on turn 2. It's like, but I can already do that. I can do that with cards that are still unbanned.
Yep.
If I get a land, a Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. Next turn, I have another land in hand.
5.
I play a second land. There's 5 mana. On turn 2, I can have 5 mana easily in this game without $1,000 cards. So like, and those are in precons.
Yes,
that's a precon level mana base.
Signets and Soul Rings, yeah,
right,
absolutely.
Like,
they wanted to, again, their claim, they're like, oh, we want to lower the chance, and yeah, that probably will if you ban the Mana Crypt and the
by 1%.
Yeah, exactly. It's one card
out of 100.
You have less explosive turns, or they don't want the like net 2 mana plays, right? Soul Ring is good because it's net +1 mana, which is already phenomenal. Every mana rock should be negative net because it's permanent. But there's I mean, Soul Ring still exists. It's still really good. Yeah. And it's in precons, like, and there's still a couple other positive, like, I don't think there's any more net 2s, but you get the point. It's like you're not really helping.
Well, and like, how big of a problem was it?
Yeah.
Like, I understand that it's good, but why are we banning good?
If you're just looking at things to ban, I think there would be plenty of things on the chopping block.
I would ban Urza off the bat.
If you're just banning cards people don't like, right? If people don't like the big explosive fast mana turns, Stasis is a card that's illegal in the format, and a lot of commander decks use, and nobody likes that card. Stasis is like, you just can't untap your lands. Like,
yeah.
What? There's a lot of salty cards like that. If we're looking to like improve the health of commander.
Yeah, and at the same time, it's like, okay, you're printing cards that are so OP compared to their predecessors or previous similar versions that having that much mana doesn't feel like it's like, I mean, yes, I'm not trying to say it's not good, right?
Yeah. Jeweled Lotus.
Good card.
Fantastic, yeah.
But like, I don't understand, like, there are so many instances, like in Urza, I just go back to Urza all the time because it just seems so oppressive, where it's like, yes, you play Artifact. Oh, it taps for mana. Oh, by the way, you now have 77 mana. It's like, oh, and you can play artifacts for free now. Oh, and they all tap for mana. Oh, and now you have infinite mana, and you have infinite little 1/1 Thopters or whatever.
Yeah.
And now you just go and, okay, turn 4, I win.
So
it's like, okay. And you didn't need a Jeweled Lotus. You didn't need a Soul Ring. Well, you probably had a Soul Ring, but you didn't need, like...
You didn't need the Mana Crypt.
No, you didn't need any of this stuff.
Yeah. It's it brings up the debate again and I've heard a lot of discourse of this. Plenty of discourse online this week, but CEDH, competitive EDH, should probably just be its own format. Probably, if they're trying to like curate the commander format so much, like, oh, we want it to be healthy and whatever, no fast mana, you should just call it like the players have been doing for a long time, but there's no clear delineation of competitive EDH, can have all the fast mana, can have the oppressive commanders, all the cards that nobody likes, and then you can have fun, happy, casual EDH that you want players to play with the precons. Go play at your local game store, have a community, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
separate banned lists.
The problem, I saw that as a suggestion online as well. And I was thinking about, I think the problem is that what would happen, because WotC are greedy bastards, is they would say, oh, look, there's a new format. And they would print precons for EDH, and then they would print CEDH precons.
CEDH.
And each of those precons would be $3,000.
Oh, so much money.
But they would have every single one of the best cards in them ever. And you would print these cards. The basics in those sets would be legendary mythic rares in a regular precon.
Compared, And you'd be like, oh, look, Mana Crypt is unbanned in CEDH, so it still has value. You can play it over here in this format. In fact, we'll put it in this precon.
Yeah.
This $500 precon gets you a $100 card. Ooh, and then later down the line, maybe they just ban more things. Like,
yeah,
like it's not.
Yeah, I think
it's not for money.
I think the problem with WotC being separate from the whatever the Council of Elders is.
Yeah, it's a good name for that.
Is that they're not separate, but they can claim that they're separate.
Yeah,
and
so they can make financial decisions totally like
because
separate.
And I'm sure that the Commander Rules Committee talks. They don't talk about bans for one day. They're not like, oh, I played a game last night against a Jeweled Lotus. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, I didn't like.
I want to ban it now. Like they don't do that. No. I'm sure if they do, they're a bunch of C words and need to go die.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah,
I'm sure they talk about it for a year or more. Right. And they really probably look at games where that card is used over and over and over again to see like, okay, yeah, it really is oppressive. Whatever.
Sure.
But there was a special printing of Jeweled Lotus that happened like last year.
Commander Masters had a special full art. That was the
5 versions of it, 4 versions of it.
It was the chase card of the set.
5 versions, 1 for each color, right?
I think so. Yeah, and it had special like not foil, but it's a type of foil. They did a surge foil or something. I forgot what they called it.
They looked really cool.
Yeah, they look pretty. It sold boxes. It sold packs.
100%.
Wizards of the Coast put that art in there, put that card in there to make money.
Exactly. 100%.
Yep.
And then a year later, year and a half, whatever it is, they ban the card.
Yeah, but not Wizards.
But Wizards. Right?
Yeah. Just a couple sets ago on a standard set, Lost Caverns of Ixalan had a Mana Crypt that was like a special showcase version Mana Crypt, which again, it was like a showcase card, so it wasn't standard legal. It was just an extra card they threw in the packs for fun.
Yeah.
That you could have played in your commander decks.
But nonetheless, it probably helped sell packs.
It probably helped sell packs for the standard set. Yeah.
I don't think anyone's surprised about Nadu. I don't think anyone's up in arms about Nadu. I will say, personally,
I think it was less oppressive in Commander.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
right. I don't. The way that you have to play that card is so specific that in Commander, like
in a singleton format, he's less effective.
Yes, exactly where I was going with it. And like you might have a game where you just don't do it.
Yeah,
it doesn't do its thing.
It doesn't combo. Ooh.
Yeah.
There's so many commanders that are part of 3-card combos.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't seem that bad, but yeah. He's Simic, so I don't like him.
He's Simic and he draws cards? Oh my gosh, the world! What does the world come to?
The meme I saw was
who would have thought that a Simic card drew cards?
The meme I saw like, I'm not trusting Wizards of the Coast anytime they print a card with this mana value ever again. It's 1 a green and a blue. They always break something because the last one was Oko, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Like I never trust 1 green and a blue. Don't do it. No love lost for Nadu. That's fine. But
I mean,
but also maybe he was really dominating CEDH. I doubt it. But
I mean, if you are getting dominated by a Nadu, just go buy an Urza deck.
Yeah, there you go. Just play Ur-Dragon or Edgar Markov Vampires. Like
anything. You
can do some stomping in CEDH.
I just hate playing against Urza.
Yeah.
If you can't tell.
Yeah, right. He's a CEDH commander. Absolutely.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Stasis.
I look at it and I'm just like, all right, well, I'm going to sit here on my phone for 30 minutes while you do all your shenanigans, and then you tell me what happens, and I'll just believe you.
Who needs lands if you just have artifacts? So,
yeah, for real.
Stasis
War. Oh, you put 4 lands in your deck, and you have 70 mana. That makes sense.
Yep. Yeah, that's Magic the Gathering this week. It is a children's card game that makes a lot of money, but it should not. Probably.
I think they just need to bring back MSRPs.
Yeah.
I think that would really, really help.
That would help a lot, I think.
I think, and I don't know. Because, like, you want game stores to be able to, like, survive. I don't know.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's a hard market to solve.
Right.
market to solve. Anyway, what else do we got on here?
We have
Forgotten.
the John Wick trailer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that looked interesting.
You and I have both seen it now.
We just watched it right before, so we can get fresh thoughts on it. My first opinions on it.
What are your opinions, sir? Well, first of all,
John Wick,
Ballerina
right?
comes out next year, 2025.
John Wick Saga, Ballerina. Yeah. I think it'd be funny if it just said like Ballerina and all these little girls could have watched this movie. It's an R-rated movie about assassins killing people. Not for little girls, but it's Ana de Armas as an assassin. So yeah, I'll watch that. That's I'm sold. It was just her character.
Were you a fan of the most recent James Bond?
I was going to say, in the recent James Bond, her character was there for like 10, 15 minutes, and it was awesome. That scene was great. Where she was like the CIA agent. So now she's just like a Russian assassin. Looked cool. It was fun.
Yeah. John Wick movie.
John Wick movie. You know, they're going to have some good action, some ridiculous kind of over-the-top gun sequences. And it looks like Keanu Reeves is actually going to be in it as well. Probably not a main character, but...
Yeah, but he is the main character in any John Wick movie. You know, he's John Wick.
He's John Wick, and it's like, it's his universe.
I think he's going to become like the mentor. Yeah. It looked like he was going to be the mentor figure.
Yeah, I couldn't quite... It seemed like maybe there was part of a flashback, like prequel, but then maybe it's... Well, I guess it can't be sequel, but spoilers. So it's maybe at some point in the story they're going to... Like,
yeah, I want to know when it's set.
Maybe they will do it a prequel, like before John Wick 1, like before he retired the first time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
When he's at his peak, they'll have to de-age.
Oh, yeah, because the black dude's in there and he died.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it has to be before the black dude died.
Sure. It looks interesting. It looks fun. I'm okay with it, even though it's kind of memey. It's kind of funny to be like, everyone's coming up with their own cinematic universes now, ever since Marvel. But
yeah, I mean,
but brand names sell, like,
for sure.
Marketing.
Do you think that this? I mean, it looked decent, right? Like it did. Yeah. I didn't find anything like egregious about it.
Sure.
They've already kind of set up the story about the ballerinas being assassins in previous John Wicks, and so like. This is a logical, like, there's no, like...
It's not contrived.
No, it's like, oh, we need a strong female character. How are we going to build that in? It's like, no, there's, like, already a backstory for these assassins, and there's already female assassins in the John Wick cinematic universe, and so they're not shoving anything down your throat necessarily, right? So, like...
Totally makes sense.
100%. Ana de Armas is a great actress.
Yeah. She can do action sequences before. We've seen that. Like, that's impressive. That's important, too, for female action movie star.
And she's proven that she can do spy-type movies because of No Time to Die.
Oh, yeah.
Or no, it wasn't No Time to Die.
Yeah.
Was it?
The James Bond movie, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Yep.
Was it No Time to Die?
Pretty sure.
Or was it the one before that? No. Anyway, in a spy movie.
Yeah.
She can be in spy movies, so, like, check mark there, right? Yeah. Which, you know, spy, assassin, very similar veins in my opinion. But, you know... I wonder if this is just a thought off the top of my head here. I wonder if it would have been better. Do you think it would perform better if it was in the John Wick cinematic universe, so to speak?
Yeah.
Or if it was a standalone film similar to Nobody?
Okay, just like here's a female
because Nobody is theoretically in that cinematic universe. I
think it's like, theorized.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's actually confirmed.
But like people are like, ooh. But like if you had said we have an assassin movie and the stylization is very similar to John Wick.
Yeah.
And they're a ballerina in Russia who gets the back tattoos. Yeah. Who has this evil overlord mother and then becomes an assassin. It's like, I've seen this before.
Right.
Do you think it would have been more dramatic or more captivating as a preview to do that, or to do you think it's better to have the John Wick name in the preview title?
I think it's probably better in this case because the story is so similar to John Wick's.
Sure.
Like almost integral because you see her at the Continental, like
that's
the whole network of assassins.
That's fair.
Because for instance, like I don't know if it was just any random movie about a female assassin, I might look at it and be like, okay, whatever. Whereas nobody, you know, what again is maybe theorized to be in the John Wick universe, but isn't technically related at all to like the assassin organization.
Sure.
Whereas if because of the just the franchise name, I'll probably go see it because I like the John Wick movies. Now, to contrast, like the Mad Max had the Furiosa. I'm not a huge fan of like the Mad Max universe, so that like I saw the titles and the trailers. And I was like, oh, you know, that looks interesting enough, but it didn't get me enough.
Yeah,
pull me enough to go see it, just because I'm not the perfect target audience for that.
Honestly, I saw that and that it had Chris Hemsworth in it, and I was like, I think Anya Taylor-Joy. Yeah. I always mix up her last name, Joy Taylor-Joy.
Right.
I think she is a great actress, very pretty.
Agree, yeah.
I think she, in everything that I've ever seen her in, she's been really good. And I heard great things about her performance in Mad Max Furiosa. Just Chris Hemsworth, man. I just can't. I don't think he's that great.
Not since Thor: Love and Thunder.
I don't know. Like, he's fine. I don't know. Can't deal with his Australian accent and like.
Oh.
It's like he was supposed to be. I don't know. Anyway.
I
didn't see the movie, so maybe he did a fantastic job and it was great.
Sure.
I just look at him and I'm like, you're supposed to be like the god of thunder, and like, I am the god of thunder. You're not supposed to be a crazy psycho, bullet crazed.
Oh, yeah, okay. So it's just hard to like.
It might be a mental disconnection thing where like he is that. It's like Ewan McGregor, right? It's like Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan, and anything that he plays in any movie, he is Obi-Wan.
He's Obi-Wan, yeah.
Right?
It's true.
It's like if you saw Daniel Radcliffe in anything, you're like, what is Harry Potter doing with a Glock? Like,
that was a good movie though.
Harry Potter with a Glock?
Yeah, it was 2 Glocks. I forgot what that movie was called. It was really fun though.
I don't.
He plays. It's a wacky movie. It's crazy R-rated, over the top, bloody action. He's like, he gets involved in some like killing game, and somebody like, I don't know, blackmails him or whatever. He gets guns like nailed to his hands.
That's hilarious.
And so he has to like play in this killing game to like get out or whatever. So
is that the meme template where he's like a bathrobe?
Yep. That's that movie.
Gotcha.
I can't remember the name of that movie for the life of me now, but
and I've seen him in other movies. Like I thought he did really good in you remember the Now You See Me movies?
Yes.
The Magician movies.
The Magician movies.
He was in the second one. He was the main bad guy in the second one.
I forgot he was in that.
And he did like a good job in that, but like anyway.
Guns Akimbo was the name of that Daniel Radcliffe movie.
That's funny.
It was pretty funny actually.
Worth a watch?
I think so. It's good, like mindless comedy action. Like obviously the one he's got guns literally nailed to his hands. He's got to go to the bathroom at one point. Pretty funny scene.
Shoots his dick off.
Almost.
That's very funny.
Or he's like trying to like eat, so he's like trying to pick up like a hot dog, and like it's just goofy. Or getting dressed, like stupid, over the top, bloody action comedy.
That's funny. I'll have to look at it.
Yeah, it was good to throw on and shut your brain off. So
yeah. Anyway, John Wick Ballerina.
It looks fun. First trailer
probably
just dropped.
See it.
Yeah,
but I said I'd probably go see Deadpool and Wolverine. Haven't seen that yet.
Haven't seen that one yet. So
I need to.
Theaters, man.
Yeah. Haven't found the time.
Oh well. We are just about out of time here. We can jump to the magic card of the week.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I was having a hard time finding one that was relevant with all of the bands this week. So I wanted to have something topical
Sure.
Have you guys heard of Soul Ring? It's a great mana rock. No,
Fast mana.
It's fast
mana.
mana.
Positive.
It's the only fast mana. No, I think right in the Commander format, 3 mana rocks used to kind of be the staple. It was like, 3 mana tap gets you 1 mana of any color. Woo! But now they have to do something extra because there's so many 2 mana rocks that are signets and stuff. There's that. So I don't know. I like some of the 3 mana rocks and the extra utilities they provide. That maybe these don't fit into CDH. They don't totally replace your mana crypts or your whatever that stupid goblin's called.
Yeah, pirate goblin dude.
I can only remember his name. The one who got banned.
I just keep thinking Ragavan.
Dockside Extortionist.
Dockside Extortionist.
Yep. So some of the 3 mana rocks that I think deserve a home is one that I think you've fallen in love with recently, the Relic of Legends.
Yeah. I like that one.
Solid one. 3 mana rock, taps for 1 mana of any color, but it's not quite Urza broken, but you can just tap an untapped legendary creature you control to add 1 mana of any color. So
yeah, it's pretty cool.
You don't need haste. You can forcibly tap down your legendary creatures. At the very least, use it for your commander, and it's like extra mana.
Yeah.
If you're not attacking with your commander or doing anything.
Yeah. And it's also a little bit of removal protection.
Sure.
Because there's some removal where it's like target untapped creature.
Yeah, there's some of that.
You know,
being able to tap down your creatures.
Yeah.
At instant speed does have a benefit. So that's one I was thinking of. I don't have a great obscure one this week, but just kind of get your brain jogging about other playable mana rocks in Commander. It's not the end of the world if they banned your mana crypts and your jeweled lotuses. There's plenty of other Cheerios. I mentioned Lotus Petal.
Relic of Legends, according to their rules should be banned.
Should be banned. It could be mana positive.
Very easily.
Yeah.
Turn 4 mana. If you're playing a Legends Matter deck.
Legends Matters, yeah.
You have 4 legendary creatures out. Play that for 3 mana, and then guess what? 5 mana on the board.
Boom. You tap all your legendary creatures for the mana. It's pretty good. So that's definitely, I think, one of my more favorite ones in recent years.
Sure.
Because basically literally any commander deck can use it.
Sure.
One I guess another secondary one I've been using a lot lately actually is the Patriarch Seal. It's from the Baldur's Gate set. It's the 3 mana tap, 1 mana of any color, but then you can also pay 1 and tap it to untap a legendary permanent you control. Or it has to be a legendary creature. So as with tapping your commander has some nice utility, untapping also has
very much so.
Pretty good utility. So use your
mana combined or
use your mana rocks for more than just fast mana.
Yeah.
What
was that one that you just read?
Patriarch's Seal.
An untapped target legendary?
Yep.
For 1 mana?
Yeah, for 1 mana. Which is pretty valuable.
Yeah.
Even if you just have a giant commander or big legendary creature you want to untap. But maybe your commander's got a tap ability.
Well, maybe you have a Relic of Legends out and you just tap for infinite mana.
And you just,
right?
It does tap your Patriarch Seal, unfortunately.
Oh, I see.
So you need a way to untap it.
I see.
Yeah.
So you get at least a little bit of mana. You can tap for 3 mana.
I think so.
Tap it, untap it, tap it again. Yeah, 3 mana.
Yeah, 3 mana. get your
3 cards, 3 mana. Mana positive in my book.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's not Soul Ring good, but I can only have 1 Soul Ring in the deck.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
mana rocks. And then my actual card of the week is Nadu. Winged Wisdom is the best magic card ever made.
Play him in your commander decks.
He's the best. You'll never lose a game.
Never lose. Nadu was banned.
Frankly,
he was the best.
That's what they tell me, folks. I'm not saying
I did that Trump impression 1 time, and I've never been able to mimic it.
Yeah.
It was like I did it like pretty well that one time.
When my voice is better, I think I can do an okay Trump.
I've never been able to like nail it on the head.
Frankly,
you do a Kamala impression.
No, I think everyone can. Perfect. You got to get the laugh right. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? Thank you for watching this week's episode of the 5G Podcast.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to see more.
And we'll see you next time.
Thanks.